Hi everyone! Our goal today is to explain the relationships between scientific concepts about earthquakes and hurricanes using specific details from the text. So let's take a look at an article. How do hurricanes form? How hurricanes work. Hurricanes are huge storms. They can be up to 600 miles across and have strong winds spiraling inward and upward at speeds of 75 to 200 miles per hour. Each hurricane lasts for over a week, moving 10 to 20 miles per hour over the open ocean. With warm air at its center, a hurricane is different from extratropical cyclones, which are the most common type of storm in the United States. The center of the storm is the calmest part. It is called the eye and has only light winds and fair weather. The low-level storm winds blow counterclockwise around the eye in the northern hemisphere, clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Above 9 kilometers, winds spiral outwards and clockwise in the northern hemisphere. Winds flow outward above the storm, allowing the air below to rise. Let's go in order here. So looking at number 1. Warm ocean water, more than 80 degrees Fahrenheit, provides energy for the hurricane and causes more evaporation, making humid air and clouds. 2. Winds coming together force air upward. 3. Winds flow outward above the storm, allowing the air below to rise. 4. Humid air rising makes the clouds of the storm. 5. Light winds outside the hurricane steer it and let it grow. So these are all of the 5 things that a hurricane needs in order to form. Where and when do they form? Hurricanes do an important job for the Earth. They help move heat from warm tropical places to the cooler temperate zone. To do this, they typically form between 5 to 15 degrees latitude north and south of the equator. Then they thunder across the warm oceans of the world, such as the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and the Western Pacific Ocean, where they are called typhoons, up to higher latitudes. Hurricanes happen when the ocean has been warmed during summer months. In the North Atlantic, hurricane season is from June 1st to November 30th, but most hurricanes happen during the fall. Storm surge. As the hurricane's winds spiral around and around the storm, they push water into a mound at the storm's center. This mound of water becomes dangerous when the storm reaches land because it causes flooding along the coast. The water piles up, unable to escape anywhere but on land as the storm carries it landward. A hurricane will cause more storm surge in areas where the ocean floor slopes gradually. When high tide happens at the same time as a storm surge, the combination of the two is called storm tide. During a storm tide, the water level may be 20 feet or more above normal. This causes huge floods. Storm tide is especially dangerous for islands or coastal areas where even a few feet of surge may cause large areas of flooding. So using this article, you're going to answer a question in a 2-point response form. As a refresher of a 2-point response, let's take a look at the to section. So the features of a 2-point response are valid inferences or claims from the text were required by the prompt. So you're off the page thinking. Evidence of analysis of the text were required by the prompt. You're analyzing the details to make sure you're proving your inference or your claim is true. You need relevant facts, definitions, concrete details, or other information from the text to develop the response according to the requirements of the prompt. Relevant is our important word, so you need to make sure that the facts you're using match. They're not random. You need a sufficient number of facts, definitions, or concrete details, or other information from the text is required by the prompt. That means you need enough. Enough details for a 2-point response are 2 details. You need complete sentences where errors do not impact the readability. We need to be able to read what you're saying. So here's the question you're going to answer. First you'll do it in a recap video, and then you're going to go ahead and write your answer on paper. Why would a hurricane not form in Alaska? Quote the text in your answer. Go ahead and get started.